Hi, my name is Tony Law from Your First Four Houses, and my channel is all about helping you achieve financial freedom through property. So as the thumbnail for this video kind of gave away, I think that tenants tell lies. But if you're an existing landlord, you're probably already more than familiar with that fact. But the most important thing that we can do as landlords is to cut through any BS before that tenant first comes into your HMO. Let's assume that you're renting a room in an HMO in the examples that I'm going to give here. You need to be sure that they're the right tenant for the house, and you need to cut through any lies before you ever offer them a room. So one of the biggest things that I hear is why the tenant is actually leaving their existing HMO. Now, they may spin you any number of different stories here. Maybe they didn't get on with the other tenants. Maybe the place is a really dirty mess. Maybe, they're a girl and there were 7 guys there or whatever. You need to go straight to the landlord of the existing property and ask them outright, would you rent to this tenant again? And you know what? They'll probably tell you the truth. They'd probably say, yes, of course I would. Or they'd say, do you know what? I probably wouldn't. But if you've still got a niggling doubt about the tenant, but you're getting a really good reference, go to, if you can, the landlord before this one. Because do you know what? This existing landlord may be desperate to get rid of this tenant. And so maybe they're going to tell a few lies of their own. So that's a great tip for you there. You go to the landlord before this one. I'm starting a new job. This is another one that I've heard a lot of. Now this can mean a whole world of different things. I'm starting a new job may actually mean, well, they actually haven't got a job. They're going to move into your house and start looking for a place to work. That's no good to you. It might mean that yes, they are starting a new job, but maybe it's very much a trial-only period on a commission-only basis. Do you know what? That's really no good to you either. Or maybe they're going to give you a 12-month contract with a big national employer, and you speak to the employer and you get a really positive reference. But you need to do that. You need to speak to the employer. They sometimes offer you personal references. I've had this quite a lot where tenants kind of are aware that there may be some issues with you offering them a room. So they'll offer up some personal references, thinking that it will carry some weight with me as a landlord. It doesn't. I don't trust any personal references. Frankly, I don't put any weight in them at all. I don't know who the personal reference is, who that person is. It carries no weight with me. I'm very much a non-smoker is another one that I hear a lot of. I have houses that are very much non-smoking, and I don't want smokers in that house. And I make it very, very clear right from that first conversation with that tenant that this is a non-smoking house. In fact, what I actually do, another little tip for you here, what I actually do is I'll ask them a number of different questions, and then I'll say, do you smoke? Like that. And sometimes what you'll hear is a pause. And then they'll say, no, I don't smoke. That means they smoke. But obviously, you just got to make sure that if it's a non-smoking house, you are definitely putting non-smokers into that house. Or if you've got the perfect tenant and they are a smoker, they need to be absolutely clear there is definitely no smoking in the house. I'm looking for a property, a single occupancy. It's just for me. And then lo and behold, their boyfriend or their girlfriend is turning up and basically staying at the place all the time. I have this a lot. So you need to make it absolutely clear to that tenant. This is definitely a single occupancy room, even if it's a double room or whatever, and it is just for you. You do understand that, don't you? In fact, I'll be honest with you, what I actually do is this. What I actually say to the tenants, word for word, is this, or a variation on this. Look, this is single occupancy. You have to understand it is only for you. And actually, the rules of the house are that we don't actually allow guests to stay over. However, of course we understand this does happen, and we personally are absolutely fine about it, just so long as you let the other tenants know. I think that's a really good way of approaching this, because it kind of nails in place that it's just for them, but that they can have the occasional person stay along. And I go on to say, I'm sure you would feel the same way if there were other tenants in the house that were constantly having people staying over. I'm sure you probably wouldn't be very happy about it either, would you? Does this make sense? Now, I would love to hear about any other doubts any other lies that you have heard over the years. But there's a couple of last little points I want to make here before we sort of wind this one up. If you're in any doubt at all, don't take that tenant on. Do you know what? Even in areas, as long as you've got a good HMO, as long as you've got a good HMO in the right location, where there is enough demand for your rooms, so you're confident you can fill the rooms, and you're not desperate to fill the rooms, which sadly I know is the case with some landlords. It certainly, luckily, isn't the case with me. But as long as you've got a place that is a good sound place, you know you can film, if you're in any doubt at all, don't take the tenant on. If you've got somebody who kind of ticks most of the boxes, but not all of them, obviously you need a guarantor, but they've got to be a home owning guarantor, I would respectfully suggest. I know some landlords don't think that's essential. I personally think it is, but they've got to be a home owner. As I say, I'd love to hear if you've heard any lies over the years, if you're an existing landlord. I would love it if you could take a moment just to add some of the lies that you've heard in the comments section below. And you need to make it absolutely clear with the tenant that he's a non-smoker. That's just great, isn't it?